Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button, it helps a lot. And also keep in mind, these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy.
All right, folks, here we are after market close on Monday, January 24th. We're going to take a look at SPY, QQQ, IWM, and UVXY in that order, just to sort of get a sense of where the overall market is and where it may be going, what it might be doing. And let's kick things off with SPY. So SPY, as you know today, let's just set the stage here for all of this. Really wild day, right? We were down here. It's at one point we we're down almost 4%, and then ended the day green. So just a nutty day, which is nothing new as of late. Now, I was talking in the video last night that we had this, big candle here from last week, down 5.75%, which put us out of this channel that had been holding since April of 2020, and that to me these were the bounce zones to look for. Now we see it coming up from that bounce zone today, so that's certainly a good sign for the bulls, and we'll see if it's able to continue. Now if it's not, since we're pretty close in at this point, the level that I would look for as a potential next bounce would be here right around 414 if it's able to catch there, and if not, you might be looking at something like 400. Really, would be the psychological level there. Probably wouldn't be 429 cents. But yeah, I mean, obviously for the bulls, the hope here is that sure, it fell out of the channel, and so maybe that channel is just kaput, right? All channels eventually go bust. But now it needs to sort of take shape and reform, whether that means it's going to consolidate for a period of time, give itself some range and then start to make a move, or if it's going to bounce or peel down further, who knows. But good bounce off of these, it's bouncing in logical places, which is good. It's not just like pure chaos, though it certainly felt like that this morning. Felt like I had moments where I was like, are we going to limit down today? But yeah, we'll see if these continue to hold. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we see, being that it finished above this secondary, if it comes down to test this bounce zone and or this bounce zone, and it makes a strong move off of it, that would obviously be a great sign, which we'll be able to track a little bit better on the daily, of course, right? Because we'll get those candles in day after day. So we'll see, this is what we're looking at. So tomorrow we come down and test this, for example, and we're able to make a strong move off of it, or even have to come back down here into the 420s. We'll just have to see. But to me, good to see it bounce where it bounced. Similarly, on the QQQ here, you see this doesn't look that dissimilar, right? It's almost exactly the same. Though QQQ I think was a bit tighter into the immediate support than the SPY was. And so similar to SPY, we'll put in a couple of levels that might come into play if it needs to come down, like 327 there, and then maybe take a look here at about 320. So if it needs additional support levels, those are the ones that I'd be looking at. For the time being, on the flip side, on the bullish side, I would just be looking for it to make strong moves or come down, retest, and make strong moves off of it. IWM we actually haven't talked about previously, but here's what this looks like. This was in this range. I mean, it was actually in this range back here. So basically all year, IWM was in this range, and it continued. I just hadn't dragged this over yet. And as is the case recently, fell out and was down over 8% last week. Now today comes up 2.3%. And so, we'll see if it's able to make any movements. I know I don't have these in purple like I do in the other ones, but these are basically zones, right? Because they're so close together. So we did see it catch some wick support off of these bounce zones at 189 and 192 today, and closed above that 192.83 level, and even started to press against this resistance level here at like 201.50. So we'll see if that continues to get any strength, and it might have a hard time coming back into this range. We'll see how much sort of pressure it gets around the 206 level, if it does come back up there. And if not, the problem is on this one, it doesn't have a ton of support here. Maybe that like 173-ish that you see here. Let's see if this draws back. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty, yeah. So another like, box or band that you could think here that goes from about 173 down to like 167, if it needs it, would make a ton of sense. I'd actually put this probably here, and we'll see how IWM holds up with this. UVXY is going to inverse these for the most part, and what we were looking at on UVXY was, now I know there's a ton of levels in here, it's going to be kind of annoying to look at, but we saw it try to peek its head from this downtrend resistance, which has been holding since it was first established around July, and it got rejected off of there. Although it was able to stretch, it wasn't able to close really anywhere near that level. And so it drew down quite hard at the end of the day, obviously inversing the big run up that we saw toward the end of the day. That said, it's still situated, above this weekly candle from last week where it was up 40%. And so I'm still very, very interested to see what it does at these levels. I can bring this in a little closer. These are the levels that I'm looking at here. 17, we can just call that 17, and then this like 1836, which is probably more like 1850 or so, and then 2044, which you could just think of as like 2050. Just kind of round them to the nearest $half amount, and it's catching and holding on those zones quite nicely, or at least quite logically. So I'd be interested to see how that continues to play into tomorrow and Wednesday and stuff like that, to see if it's going to continue to put pressure, or if it seems to be sort of peeling off the pressure and coming back down, and especially if it starts to dip itself into this range, like into the 16s, and starts to come into the body of this candle. That to me would be interesting from the perspective of maybe there could be some stabilization, or some bullish strength could come back into the market. I am currently not that bullish. I've been, grabbing hedges before close every night. It's obviously been paying off really well, but that's because I feel that that there's a lot of uncertainty, and obviously the concerns around the state of the economy and the interest rate situation and the tapering could certainly bring more pressure into here. I don't know if or when that would happen, but those are the things that sort of have me concerned at the moment. And obviously, from the charting perspective, like these are not that's not a very bullish looking chart, right? We talked about sort of the bullish possibility here that it does stabilize or bounce on these zones, or even if it retests it. But in the vast scheme, us not having seen it leave this channel for quite some time, and then it's coming out quite strongly there, with the news cycle and everything that's going on. I'm still happy to keep putting in some hedges and see what happens, but it should be an interesting week. It was certainly a crazy day. So yeah, I hope you're functioning well in the crazy. These volatile times can be great for traders. Heck, they can be great for investors if you're really good at buying dips and knowing where the dip is, and or if you don't care and you're just happy to get things at what you think is a discount or a cheaper price. So there can be a lot of upsides here, but I also know it can be very painful. Can feel to a lot of folks like they thought they bought the dip and then it keeps dipping. Right? I don't try to do that, to be honest, because I'm not a good dip buyer. I'm better at just kind of playing the inverse, right? Like buying UVXY when it's going up, and hedging that way, or what have you. But yeah, volatile times, the big swings can certainly be big profits for many folks. So could be worth some looking into if you're uncertain on how to capitalize on super volatile or bear markets. All right, folks, diatribe over. I hope that you have a good trading week ahead, and I appreciate you watching. I will see you in the next video.